So thank you, Dr. Deshpande, and all the senior members of for this session. And my talk is on addressing medical legal challenges with NABH accreditation. Thank you, AOS team, for giving me this opportunity. And this is my financial interest. I work with NABH on honorary capacity to passionately to improve the quality of eye care services. And you all know ophthalmic practice itself is becoming hazardous and risky, and practicing defensive medicine is inevitable. And now mutual faith has been replaced with mutual suspicion. And these are has become daily occurrences now. And also in ophthalmology, it is catching up. And most of these events are preventable, manageable, and identifiable if we can find the root cause analysis and try to prevent this. So these are some of the medical legal challenges unique to our specialty. The surgical camps where cluster infections are a bit common. The community outreach activity where there is no support services of the parent organization. Daycare surgery and follow-up issues, particularly some emergency happening after the surgical procedure. And there's a wide variation between the paid services, free services, and charity units. And now the insurance issue with its attendant documentation and follow-up issues. So we can't be like an ostrich that it cannot happen to us. And most of us are ignorant because it's not included in our medical curriculum. And nobody wants to talk about it openly. And many of us feel it may not happen to us. And let's deal with it when it happens. So why do patient complaints? When the standards or the expected care is not delivered, or they perceive that the standards are not followed. So many of the patients are used to standards everywhere in other service industry, and you all know happy patients don't sue the doctor. So unhappy patients expect these: avoiding injury to patients, effective evidence-based medicine, dignity when the care process delivery, timely care, reduction with the delays from the receiver and provider, avoiding wastage with reference to supplies, particularly the consumables, and equitable care. So medical negligence, you all know the act of omission and act of commission without having the standard of care. And these are some of the acts of omission: failure to perform certain tests, giving appropriate counseling, failure to maintain aseptic precautions, asking about drug sensitivity and systemic disease, and ruling out certain pathologies, for example, chronic dacryocystitis in cataract surgery. And wrong side happens, right? Wrong side or site errors happen most commonly in ophthalmology. And this is the common cause for wrong side surgery, the miscommunication and communication lag. And the majority of these are preventable. If you see that many of these are system-related factor or process-related factor, where certain standards, if we follow, we can reduce this incidence. So if we have to provide standard of care, we have to understand the basic tenets of medical care, and accreditation standards can help us to prevent medical legal challenges. As you all know, the standards is a stumbling block if the quality and safety fails. The moment you reduce the risk, the quality improves. So what are the medical legal challenges faced by ophthalmologists and hospitals? And basically, you can classify this into 4 categories: failure to comply with legal and professional responsibilities, problem related to patient safety, medication errors and care management, administrative errors, particularly related to tariff and billing, and the 4th one is failure of communication, inadequate consent, and medical records. So basically, patients sue the doctor because failure to comply with the legal and professional responsibilities. And what we should do is follow all the protocols, particularly post-COVID and COVID time. You have to diligently follow the government regulation and rates. The second aspect is having statutory and legal requirement. India is a country where the healthcare is regulated by so many laws, related and unrelated laws. So you have to comply with them. Of course, it is difficult, but the healthcare institutions have to understand these legal requirements and comply with them to avoid medical legal challenges. The objective, so accreditation standards have a mechanism to regularly update the licenses, registration, MOUs, and certifications. And if you have the system in place, it's easy to avoid these hassles. Third one is related to the biomedical wastage. Throwing biomedical wastage is a crime now. So you have to follow this norms, standards, focus on these source segregation and proper biomedical wastage segregation. The fourth one is related to the medications under the Drug and Cosmetic Act. It provides from safe storage, preservation, prescription, and dispensing of drugs, and the healthcare institution has to ensure safe administration. And statutory compliance related to HR is one of the key areas where a lot of problem happens for the hospital, particularly ESI, Provident Fund, Profession Tax, the Gratuity, and the Minimum Wages Act. And if the healthcare provider knows this, and we can avoid these issues. And the next one is related to the conduct of doctors and nurses. Many of our people don't understand the medical council requirements. It is a moral authority and legally binding on them. It's important they understand these rules and regulation and follow them. And right of the patients. Most of us take consent only on paper, and it is not a proper consent taking mechanism. Accreditation standard enforce and focus on taking a proper consent with all the regulations and requirement. And it is obligatory for the service providers to provide all the info recorded to the patient on demand. And these are some of the medical legal challenges. The next part is challenges faced with reference to patient safety and medication errors. You all know accidents, particularly in the last 1 year or so, in many of the COVID hospitals had fire accidents, and many patients died because of fire accidents. Standards focus on fire safety mechanism and proper emergency services, and having a good system for fire extinguishers as well as fire-related systems really help us during the emergency system. Safe infrastructure and alternative supply are very important. Standards focus on having alternative medical gas supply, emergency exit system, electricity, water supply, and communication systems. And the standards focus on not only these essential systems, but also on surveillance like CCTV camera, as well as the crash cart and hazardous items. And the most common problem in hospitals is related to the tariff and billing, and standards ensure that standard billing and transparent tariffs are followed in the hospital. And the last part is failure of communication, particularly inadequate consent and patient education mechanism, and also failure to maintain medical records. So as you all know, timely care is very, very important. It has to be like a free flow, like a flowing river. And one of the standard indicator is focusing on time taken for care delivery in emergency, ward, OP, and operation theaters. So this really helps in making the patient satisfied and happy. The common cause of litigation is CCC failure. What I mean is consent, communication, cost, and having a complaint feedback. Accreditation standard focus on these mechanisms with reference to the PRE chapter, patient rights and education chapter. And this really helps us in reducing the consent and communication related issues. And as you all know, most successful doctors are those who have good communication skills, accreditation skills, accreditation standards have an entire chapter and focus on this 3C that is very, very important. And importance of informed consent, as you all know, medical records really save our day in the court of law. Mistakes we cannot defend is wrong IOL, wrong surgery, wrong medication, and wrong patients. And if you have standards and systems in place, these preventable mistakes particularly can be avoided with the use of checklists. And standards focus on having a safety checklist, not only for cataract surgery, but also for other eye-related surgeries where you have a sign-in, timeout, and sign-out system. This really helps in avoiding the errors that can lead to sentinel events. These are some of the statutory documentation where accreditation standards have a major role to play with reference to requirement from the clinical documentation, notifiable disease, employee record, as well as the Transplantation Act. And maintenance of medical records is very, very important. And this is one of the most common non-compliance in accreditation visits or assessments. And this, as you all know, acts as a number one witness in litigation. And this should be arranged in the chronological order. So how does accreditation help in reducing medical legal challenges? Good infrastructure is directly proportional to safe care. Process, documentation, and soft communication skills really help us in reducing the medical legal challenges. Licenses in place ensure safety in facing medical legal challenges. Good structure, infrastructure, and process give good outcomes. If we give good outcomes, there won't be any medical legal challenges, and we can, even if we have them, we can boldly face them. Problems are not stop signs, they are guidelines. Thank you so much for your kind attention.